And you might be wondering, okay, we're saying that we have better credit than our parents, but how did we do it? So I guess we can both give you a brief little overview of how we did it in our own individual ways. When I was about, I want to say 19, I was a sophomore in college, I applied for my first credit card, which was the Discover It card. They gave me the line of credit. At the time, it was about maybe $500, so it wasn't that much, and I was just filling out the card. At that point, my credit score was probably in the low 600s. I'm not exactly sure, I can't remember, somewhere around there. And you know, the first couple statement periods, I'm just trying to figure things out. So I'm calling the Discover representatives and trying to figure out, you know, how do I operate this card? You know, different ways how I need to pay it off, when I'm supposed to pay it off. So I learned that, you know, every month that you're gonna get a statement at the end of that statement period, and it will vary person to person. So for example, my statement closes on the 24th of each month with Discover, whereas someone else, it might close on the 19th. So back to the story, I got the hang of it, and my strategy was, if my card statement closed on the 24th, by the 25th, I'm paying off everything in full. I didn't wait for interest to accrue or wait for, you know, whatever. Once that statement credit closed, statement period, closed, I paid it off in full. I have never missed a payment. I have never paid half or paid the minimum payment and then gone back and paid the rest. I paid it all off. And my strategy was always, you know, if I swipe $10 on my credit card, I would put $10 from my checkings into my savings. Kind of like to, okay, in my mind, that if I see $100 in my checking account, I don't have to worry about mentally subtracting $10, like, oh, I need to pay my credit card with that. I would just remove that $10 out of the equation. So if I swiped up $100 on my debit card, that I still had that 10 to pay off the credit card. And I've kept that up. Discover is my longest credit card. I've had that, like I said, since I was a sophomore in college, and I'm now in my first year of graduate school. And so far it's been going pretty well. I've been seeing, you know, pretty much good growth in my credit score, and it actually happened pretty quickly. I want to say within a year it had jumped maybe 50 points.
Yeah, what I will say in my experience is that one thing I didn't know when I turned 18, because all I knew was that I couldn't apply for a credit card until I turned 18. And by that time, I was already 2 years through college. So I started at 16. And I had student loans and I had other things in my name that I didn't even really realize was already affecting my credit. And that, you know, I still had a credit score, even though I wasn't 18 yet. And so when I turned 18 and I got my first credit card, I definitely saw a huge jump in my credit score from the time I opened that card, because like I said, going back to the components of the calculation, once I started for a few months making my payments on time, 35% of your credit score, the new type of credit, I now had two different types of credit. I had student loans and I also had a credit card. That helped my credit even more. The amount I owe, what I still do to this day, is that I never put more than 10% of my credit limit, and that's just a personal preference. I never put more than 10% of my credit limit on my card. So if I have a card that's $10,000 of a credit limit, I will swipe up to $1,000, and if it goes over, I will pay it down before my statement balance closes. So that's my strategy for keeping my credit up. And so that's really my experience, and that's what's been helping me. So my credit score really has stayed pretty stagnant, I want to say, even over the past year. My credit score really hasn't, it's had a little bit of ebbs and flows as I open new accounts and things like that. But generally, my credit score hasn't really gone anywhere since within the first year, I believe, since I got my credit card. It's been pretty steady for the past couple years.
And like she said, we're pretty much around the same thing, mid 700s.
Yeah.
And it hasn't really gone anywhere in the past, I would say 6 or 7 months for both of us. And that's because, like she said, a big factor for her and myself is that, you know, we don't have I guess, what's considered long lengths of credit.
So something you can really do about that. But wait.
Yeah, but wait it out. It's kind of just like, when you finally turn 25 and you can rent that car without paying all of these extremely high fees. You just have to wait it out and do your best not to screw it up while you're waiting. Because, applying for multiple accounts or closing out multiple accounts can really, really hurt you. And we really want to stress that and everything that you do with your credit cards, try and be mindful and be strategic with how you do things.
So we hope this video was useful for all of you. Hope you got something out of it.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Since we don't have any experience with Credit Karma, in the comment section, tell us if you have any experiences with Credit Karma, what it's like, and any tips that you might have for fellow viewers.
Or any other company that you might check your credit score with. Maybe you have a great experience with your credit card company. So share experiences in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications so that you get an alert every time we post a new video. And also in the comments, let us know what kind of videos you want to see. What questions do you have about any financial topics? Just let us know.